Even though eating fish is a way of life in Hawaii, most people never go through the process of learning how to clean a fish. So today I'm headed to Gochi Grill for a visit with Chef John Iha, who's going to show us how to clean an o'io and show us how to make Lomi o'io and give us an even greater appreciation for the people who make our poke and our fish.
Don't like to make a mess when you with all the scales. So what I do is I get a saran wrap and I saran wrap the top. So I get my fish and I throw it underneath like so. Yeah. So you can actually see what you're doing.
Is it that bad when the scales fly?
Yeah, it goes everywhere. So you don't want.
I think I only scaled a fish once.
I'm sorry?
I only scaled a fish once in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, if you don't have one of those scalers, a fish scaler, then a butter knife will work.
Okay.
Yeah? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab from the tail, and you're gonna start from the tail and then just work it down. So if you can see it, all the scales are flying out.
How much easier does a scaler make it?
I would say it helps a lot.
You can cut yourself too, you know?
Nah.
Really?
I mean, you have a better chance cutting your hand on the fins of the fish, but yeah. I had to start learning how to do it when I started catching them.
When was that?
I would say 10 years ago, maybe. About there.
What made you start fishing?
My father used to always take me out when I was small, when I was like 5 years old. We used to go on a 13-foot Boston whaler and trolling all over Waianae. So I always liked the fish. It's just when you're in college and high school and stuff like that, you kind of start doing different things. So I started fishing more because it was a cheaper hobby. I thought it was going to be a cheaper hobby than going out to bars and stuff like that. But I kind of realized that fishing is super expensive.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, what do? You take out a boat?
I'm sorry?
You take a boat out?
Oh, no. I just go from shore, but
Uh-huh.
it's still expensive. I mean, you have your lead and all your gear. Okay. Okay.
But then you can feed yourself for a week.
Yeah. Man.
Okay, so where would the scales be if you didn't put the plastic down?
It would be everywhere.
Like all over
Everywhere.
here, up here?
It would be everywhere. So this is a pretty good way to scale your fish. And it's just like that. You can just kind of peel it off. And then we're gonna cut off the head. Then I'll show you how to clean it. We're gonna scrape it. And then make some Lomi o'io.
It's easier to feed a fish than gut an animal. That's for sure.
Yes, definitely. Okay. So after you scale your fish, you want to make sure your surface is dry, your fish is dry, so it doesn't slip. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna fillet this guy. And what we're gonna do first is we're gonna make your first cut is through the belly, from the belly all the way to the head. Yeah? So. Okay. So once you make that cut.
Can people do that with a basic knife that they have at home?
Yeah, you can. All you need is a tip, yeah? Okay, and then you just want to make an incision by your head. Same thing this side.
This is why people go to restaurants.
So they don't have to do this.
Yeah. Nobody wants to do that.
Okay. And make that one cut. So what you do now is you twist your head,
Yeah.
and then all the guts come out at the same time. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Okay. So what we're gonna do first is we're just gonna rinse this off real quick. You want to take out all the blood in the belly, because what's gonna happen is when you start filleting it, if you have a lot of blood in the belly, then it's gonna go on your flesh, and you don't really want too much blood on your flesh. Yeah?
Can you rinse it off?
Once it's on the belly, it's a little harder to rinse off.
Oh, really?
Because your flesh is going to be exposed. So you'll once they make a cut, you'll kind of understand why. Okay, so wipe it down again. Okay. So now, I've always learned, whenever you're filleting a fish, to have the tail end to your right, the head to your left, and upside down. And the reason why is because you're gonna cut this way, and this is gonna be easy to take off. It's kind of hard to explain, but if you do it wrong, if you do it the reverse way, then you'll totally understand why.
Is it opposite for left-handed people?
Yes, it would be, I believe. It would be. Okay. So we're making an incision from the top fin, and just following it down to your middle bone. So this fish too, when you're filleting it, because you're gonna scrape it all anyway with a spoon, you don't really have to be too precise. Okay, so you're gonna, from this belly part, you want to make an incision, and it's gonna be kind of by your you're just gonna cut it all the way through to your there, and then you're gonna angle your knife at a 45-degree angle, and you're just gonna pull. Yeah. There you go. Okay. So there you have your fillets. I didn't do that good of a job, but you can kind of see how if you get blood on this, it's almost it'll go into the flesh. Yeah, it's not just gonna you can't just wipe it off and it's gonna be okay. Wait, we're gonna do the same thing here. Okay, so you always make one cut, like really shallow, and then you always follow it in with another one.
And you're feeling for the bone?
Yeah, you're feeling for that bone, and what you want is it sound. You know, so whenever
So
you're
the bone should be just under the knife.
right. And then once you hit that middle bone, then you're gonna flip it, and then you're gonna pretty much make your incision. So this is probably where the belly part started, and that's all you want to go to. Okay, and again you're gonna zip out 45-degree angle.
Oh, it's not tight.
That's the middle bone. Cool. A little harder. There you go. Okay. So if you see, because I caught this fish on Thursday, which is about 3 days ago, this is the bloodline here. So you see how I got on the flesh a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
This is the blood, yeah. So that's kind of what you don't want. But I mean, it's not that bad.
Is there when the blood goes there, you can taste it when you cook it?
Yeah, it gets a little fishy, especially if you're doing something raw.
Oh, that's when it gets fishy.
Yeah, if you're doing it raw with Lomi too, you don't want blood. It's gonna get kind of fishy and taste a little funky. So this is your belly.
So if we taste fishiness, that's usually the reason?
It could be a number of things. It's probably usually whenever you eat stuff that's fishy in the store, it's just old. Usually.
Yeah.
But blood definitely adds to the deterioration process of your fish. Okay, so here's a little fin. We're gonna cut out the fin. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're taking off.
So you always try to do this before trash day?
Yeah, either that or, I mean, for me, I just throw these in little baggies and I freeze it, and then when I go fishing again, I just throw it in the water for chum.
But people can also make stock, yeah?
Yeah, this one you probably could because it's a white fish and it's lean, so you'd have a cleaner stock. So you could. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start scraping these two guys. Scraping the bone first. Okay.
So what's your favorite fish to catch?
Anything that bites. I'm not a very picky guy.
Oh, as far as eating fish?
Eating fish, I like to'ao. I like to'ao. I like papio sashimi. Oyo is good. I like ava. Lomi ava is really good. But it's a little bit more rare to catch. So I don't know. I'm not good enough to decide what I want to eat and target everything. Okay, so that's pretty much it. You don't really want to scrape. You don't want to scrape too much over here because then the blood's gonna come out. Yeah. So right there is pretty much where you want to take it. When you're scraping this guy, you want to scrape from the tail down because that's kind of where the bones are. They're directed this way. Okay. So you don't want to. If you're doing this, you're gonna go against the grain. Oh yeah. You don't want to do that. Yeah. Okay.
How faster when you do it.
Yeah. Okay. So that's your flesh looks kind of like that. Pretty nice.
So how come you don't put to'ao on your menu?
Because I cannot catch them. I mean, it's. I don't think anybody would sell it really. Other than fish markets in Chinatown and stuff like that. I couldn't see a purveyor bringing in to'ao.
And that's a problem, right?
Well,
there has to be a market first for somebody to go out and catch it.
There might be actually liability involved.
Really?
Because it's a reef fish.
Oh.
So
okay.
without the ciguatera testing like that, I think there might be some kind of liability. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, no restaurants. The only restaurant that used to actually serve reef fish was that place in Kalihi. What was it? I'm sorry?
Which?
Kenny's.
Oh, really?
Kenny's.
Oh.
Kenny's used to sell reef fish. They used to sell kole and all kinds of stuff, and and they did it for years. And I was just wondering, hey, how did they do it without an outbreak?
Really local, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you know your fish is safe? The one that you just caught?
Usually the ones that, like the to'aos that I catching are small. So because they're the younger they are, the less chance of ciguatera is gonna occur in there, because ciguatera derives from ciguatoxins that are inside of these little particles of it's almost like algae almost. So it's called dinoflagellates, and those things are in the coral and all that stuff that these little fish eat, and it just collects, and then it gets worse and worse and worse. So even the predator fish, they eat the little fish, and the little fish that have them, it just grows inside of them. So the bigger the fish, the more risk of getting ciguatera.
So like even ahi?
Ahi, no, because that's pelagic, and those are deep sea, so they're not eating the small reef fish. Yeah?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But like a big ulua, I don't know if I'd eat any ulua that's bigger than 15, 20 pounds. If like a 50, 60 pounder, I don't know, I'd be kind of scared. But usually if it's, I would say, your fish is under 5, 10 pounds like that, then it should be okay. Okay, so that's as far as I kind of want to take it.
UH has testing facility though, right?
No, they ended the program.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. This is Hawaii. We have ciguatera.
Okay, so that's pretty much that. Yeah? Okay. One reason why they say Lomi o iyo is because you gotta massage it, but I prefer not to, because there's a little bit more texture in the meat, and But right now, what you're doing right now is you're just kind of feeling for bones inside of it, but it looks pretty clear. Yeah, I went very lightly.
As long as you did the surface only, it shouldn't have bones in there.
Well, sometimes they get in there. There's a lot of bones in o'io. That's why they.
That's why nobody eats it.
Well, that's why they call it bonefish. So, there's actually an extra set of bones on the bottom.
Oh, why?
I mean, I don't know.
Weird. That's weird.
Okay. Oh.
Why would they have extra set of bones?
I think that extra set of bones is what makes it so muscular and tough. It's a pretty tough fight on a fishing pole.
Oh.
Okay, so I don't really want to take it too much further. Okay, so basically what I'm gonna do. So this is your base, yeah. I'm gonna add in a little bit of onions, sweet onions. Not too much though. Like that. Some green onions. And so Lomi o'io is basically like o'io that's poke that doesn't have too much texture in it. So I'm pretty much doing a poke recipe, but my little spin on it. So I have sweet onions, green onions. I'm throwing some chiso in there. Some ogo. And again, there's not really a recipe to it because you would have to weigh your fish and.
How much fish do you think is in there?
This, I would say, this is close to about 2.5 pounds.
Really?
Maybe about 2 pounds.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Didn't seem like it.
That was about 4 pounds, so that was about a 4.5 pound fish. So your yield is usually half, yeah? Okay, so a little bit chili pepper water. Okay. A little sesame seed oil.
What other fish can they do it like this way?
Ava. That's the milkfish. And that's the only two that I know that does it this way because of the how soft the flesh is. I think everything else would just be poke. Yeah. So then I'm gonna add kizami wasabi. So this is pickled wasabi that you can find in Marukai in the freezer department, but these suckers are expensive. I think this thing is about $5 or $6.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're gonna put some of that inside, and then a little bit of kowai salt.
So right there, that's about $2 worth.
Oh yeah, easy. So a little bit kowai salt. And then we're just gonna toss this. Yeah, so it's just like poke, where I mean, a lot of people mix it a lot, and it comes super gummy.
Mushy.
It's gummy, and it's almost like it's almost like a paste, but I kind of don't like it like that. so I try to make it like poke, where you know the less you mix, the better, because if not, then it gets kind of slimy. That's pretty good.
Ooh, if you do say so yourself.
Kind of surprised me there. But so there's your there it is. So that's Lomi o'io.
Is that your favorite thing to eat at home?
No, I like to eat pizza.
That's a recipe for another day. Then.
Yeah.